then you finished your thesis and you were hired on the faculty?
I was hired as not as an instructor, something like
Like what
instructor.
we have here for instructors.
So my Courant's philosophy was different from most chairman of math departments. In most math departments, the idea was somebody gets a PhD, then he goes elsewhere
Right.
for exposure to other things. He may come back, may not, he or she. But Courant tended to keep the best students. I was away for a year. I had a National Research Council fellowship. I was in Europe for a year. Then when I came back, Agman came as a visitor for a while, and also Protter.
Right.
And we wrote a paper together. It was on maximum principle for hyperbolic equation, second order hyperbolic equation.
Now, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the maximum principle. You've done enormous work on that.
Yeah, a lot of my papers use maximum principle for elliptic equations, parabolic equation, and this one paper on hyperbolic equations. Let me just mention a story connected with the hyperbolic paper.
Okay.
Hans Weinberger was attending a talk given by Bochner somewhere, I forget where, and Bochner did something in this talk, and Weinberger raised his hand and said, "Oh, that follows from the Agman-Protter, Nirenberg-Protter maximum principle." So after the talk, he went up to explain, and he realized, no, he didn't have that maximum principle in mind. He had invented a maximum principle. Weinberger, intuitively, he thought there is a different maximum principle, which he then proved.
I see.
So
he mistaken your maximum principle to the one
for the one he thought of, and
very interesting.
which didn't exist before, and he proved it.
I did not know that.
So maximum principles I've used mainly elliptic equations. So the maximum principles enter getting all kinds of estimates for solutions, for the derivatives, for nonlinear problems, linear problems. There's a method which was invented by a geometer, A.D. Alexandrov, called the method of moving planes.
Right.
And this is a method to prove symmetry and monotonicity of solutions of certain equations where the equations have a symmetry, for instance, radial symmetry.
Right.
And some years later, after Alexandrov, this Russian, did it for his geometric problem, Sarin used it for a problem, and then Gidas, Ni, and I used it to prove a problem which Gidas raised. It came from physics. And we use this method of moving planes, and at the heart of it is the maximum principle. And there are different forms of the maximum principle. There's something called the Hopf lemma,
right,
which says that if you have a solution of the equation, and if its maximum occurs on the boundary, and the solution is not constant, then it's normal exterior normal derivative there is actually positive. That turns to be an essential tool somehow in elliptic PDE. And also there's a parabolic version for parabolic equations, which
you
was
also
proved
work on
later
the parabolic equation.
Yes, I had
Maximum
one. Yes, I had a paper on maximum principle, the so-called strong maximum principle for parabolic equations. Yep.